clinched its postseason ticket. Another has playoff dreams. It's the Chargers and the Ravens on Saturday night.
Y'all say y'all want to be champions. Go prove it.
Touchdown.
What a call and what a game. Hopped up in the air and caught.
To the back of the end zone. Intercepted.
Wraps him up and drops him.
Unbelievable run.
We're going to do that all day.
Welcome to NFL GameDay Kickoff.
Back end of our NFL Network doubleheader has playoff implications all around. And tonight, the home team will have its Pro Bowl running back. Melvin Gordon returns after missing 3 games with a sprained knee, hoping to carry at least some of the load against the NFL's #1 defense. And with that, we welcome you down on the field. Got a pair of Hall of Famers. 88.
Yes.
Michael Irvin is here.
Yes.
LaDainian Tomlinson is here as well. And a guy with more than 1,000 career catches, Steve Smith.
Light-skinned sensation, Steve Smith Sr.
I am Chris Rose. And who would have thunk it? Irv, I don't know what you're checking down there, but in week 16, a game with playoff implications, Josh Johnson against Blaine Gabbert coming down to the final 2 minutes. Pretty amazing, right?
That was amazing. And honestly, both of those guys didn't play poorly. You know what I mean? But each team leaned on what they needed to lean on, that running game. And, of course, hey, the Titans get a win here tonight.
By the way, the Colts, obviously they got to win tomorrow to keep an eye on the AFC South. The Titans have done their business. Both teams are rooting against the Ravens, by the way, tonight. They are rooting for the Chargers this evening as you're checking out the AFC playoff picture. Now, with a few minutes to go in this one, LT, did you think that Blaine Gabbert had enough to get it done against Washington's D, which has been pretty good?
Yeah, but, Blaine actually came in and played well, even up until that last drive. So I felt like he was doing okay, like he wasn't in jeopardy of throwing the game away. He managed the game very well, made timely passes. Now, the one thing about Blaine Gabbert, he's going to stay in the pocket, but this is what I believe he does the best, throwing the ball down the field. And he really did a good job today against the Washington Redskins of throwing the ball down the field and didn't beat himself today, didn't throw an interception so that he gave his team the opportunity to win the game.
Would you like to apologize at halftime?
Exactly.
You called him
that's why
check
I'm looking
down
at
Charlie.
him.
Yeah, that's right. Okay,
what was
it?
Stand still stand or something
Stationary stand?
Stationary stand.
I mean, okay, I apologize. I apologize for calling him that. He did a very good job. Stanley safely did not throw the ball away. He did what he did well, which is throw the ball intermediate. He made some good key throws, but he also, too, did what he was supposed to. And hand the ball off to that grown man back there. Right? And do that and allow Washington to come at him and allow Washington to come at him blitzing and really become desperate, allows the throwing lanes to be open. That's why he was able to throw the ball efficiently. But to go into the playoffs and make a playoff push, you can't be safe. You have to gamble and make throws and willing to put the game on the line. That's what the playoffs are about. That's why our 2 Hall of Famers and Michael Irvin, his legendary career was built in January and February, not what he did in the regular season. Would you concur, Mike?
Yeah, I would concur. But they give him a chance to stay in the fight right now. And Chris, put that pressure on the Colts to beat the Giants this week.
Yep. So we agree.
Yes. Any shot that the Titans make the playoffs? I mean, they still are alive in the division. If Houston loses out, the Colts end up winning tomorrow, then the winner between the Colts and the Titans wins the AFC South.
Yeah. Wow.
It seems like none of the 3 of you are really sold.
No.
Anybody?
Not buying.
Why?
Just because there's a lot.
You started it with Houston losing out.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly. You see how Houston's playing? They're playing well. Yes, it was ugly, but
and they got Philly this
It doesn't
week.
matter how the win goes. You just want to win.
Okay, but they're at Philly.
Yes.
That franchise has never beaten the Eagles.
And then
they take on Jacksonville, who's had a tough year. But
Jacksonville?
in week 17.
Oh, okay.
So what? Okay.
Yeah, right now, though, Chris, Houston's one of the more well-balanced teams in the AFC, along with the team that we're going to watch here tonight in the Charge.
And we'll get to that game momentarily, but you take a look at the NFC East standings. Washington has been eliminated. Dallas, if it wins tomorrow or next week against the Giants, they punch their ticket. If they lose both and Philly beats Washington next week after disposing of Houston tomorrow, then the Eagles clinch the NFC East.
That's
Everybody
a lot of
understand
what ifs.
that? There you go.
I'm drunk already.
All right, so here's your NFC playoff picture. Washington is still alive. It's going to have to win next week and get some serious help as well. Seattle could clinch a playoff berth tomorrow. Minnesota could clinch a playoff berth as well. And Dallas, of course, with a win over the Buccaneers, would clinch the NFC East. Let's give a little bit of kudos, though, to Josh Johnson. Okay, I mean, it's been 7 years between starts until last week. He finally got his first win as a starter at age 32. Had him in this thing through a tough interception with a couple minutes to go.
That wasn't his fault.
That one, the Kevin Byers one.
The first one where the receiver had a two-deep zone, and the receiver has to bend in and go and get that ball, and he slowed down off the cut. As soon as he makes that cut, he has to run. And Josh threw the ball where he was going.
Absolutely.
He just stopped going because he didn't want to meet that pain.
He made a financial decision.
He didn't want to meet that pain.
He said he wanted to go into the offseason
Right.
with a good head on his shoulders.
Right. Not a head through his chest. Right. It's exactly what happened.
By the way, Irv, you're not nervous about the Cowboys at all. I mean, they'll take care of business tomorrow against Tampa, or at the very least, Week 17 against the Giants.
Listen, I'm going to put the Cowboys on upset alert against those Buccaneers because they can throw the ball down the field and get up early. And we saw what the Cowboys did last week without scoring any points. That offense went stale, so they have to be careful. No, I'm not nervous right now, Chris. It's Saturday night. I'll be nervous tomorrow when it's Sunday. Yes, sir, I will be.
But looking at that matchup, I really believe Tampa has to try to run the football on the Cowboys. You can't expect to drop back and throw the football without those Cowboys rushers being able to get to Jameis Winston.
But they didn't touch Andrew Luck now. They didn't touch Andrew Luck, didn't he have to wash
that's
his
true.
uniform.
But what did Indy do so well? They ran the ball up the middle.
Marlon Mack killed him.
So I don't think Tampa can use that same formula.
Well, we've seen stranger things, though. You've seen teams come in there and do one thing, say one thing, and do another. That's what the great part about, especially with a coach, seemed like his job is on the line, right? Seeming like the season is over. Why not say to hell with it? Let me see what we got. You got Jameis Winston.
Nothing to lose. Right.
You have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
And that's the whole thing.
That's a dangerous team.
That's a dangerous team when they're just playing and having fun and drawing up anything because they break all tendencies. Everybody breaks it. It's 3rd and 1. Let's go deep.
Yeah.
You know what
Instead
I'm saying?
of doing the screen on the draw.
Right. Let's go deep. And that's the danger of it. And like I said, when the Cowboys, when you can get shut down and shut out like they did last week, that has to bring about a concern for your football team. Why should anybody be able to do that? And you saw the frustration on the sideline with Ezekiel Elliott, with Amari Cooper. They were just a different football team.
Well, you talk about Ezekiel Elliott. Just look for the Cowboys tomorrow to feature Ezekiel because they didn't do that much last week. I guarantee they're going to get back to basics and run the football tomorrow.
All right, so Washington gave it a valiant effort. They end up losing in Nashville, but today became the 5th player in NFL history to gain a 1,000-yard season at age 33 or older. He is now 8th all-time on the rushing list. He keeps moving up the charts. Oh, LT, are you shocked that he has had this sort of bounce-back season?
I'm not really shocked because Adrian is a guy you can never count out. Can't go and say Adrian Peterson is getting old or he's lost a step because he continuously tell us or show us that he still has juice in his legs. So how can I sit up here and say he has nothing left? The man has rushed for 1,000 yards this season at the age of 33. So kudos to Adrian Peterson. Can he keep this up next year? He'll be 34. We'll see. He might have a chance to catch me, but I don't know.
Does he finish top?
So what you're saying is he can't keep it up another year. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying.
Hey, congratulations to Blaine Gabbert, who came off the bench late in the second quarter, and Marcus Mariota went down with a stinger, led a game-winning drive, and still the Titans very much in the AFC playoff picture. Afterward, our Melissa Stark caught up with the Titans quarterback.
Blaine Gabbert comes into this game 7 for 11, 101 yards, and a touchdown. How'd you do?
It was a lot of fun just getting back on with the guys. try to provide a little spark there in the fourth quarter and just execute our offense. Our guys are knocking their tails off up front. Derek and Deanna were doing extremely well. You know, just we had to get a touchdown there in that last drive, and then our defense was
It was huge because at the half, I talked to your head coach. He obviously wasn't happy you guys were trailing, and he said, we got to get something going, and we got to find the confidence that we've had in the last 2 weeks. So how was that? How were you guys able to do that?
You know, just getting positive plays on first down. That drive we scored on, Taylor did a great job kind of getting over there across the middle, throwing a good ball, and, you know, we put points on the board. And, you know, it's a lot of fun to get back out on the field with guys. We take it for granted sometimes. I was just excited to get out there, and we just took it.
Well, I'm sure you were in a huge win as it was. I mean, you guys really needed this. I'm sure you loved those pressure moments of getting out here.
Yeah, it was a must-win game. You know, the playoffs are still alive, and we just got to get going next week.
Yeah, so talking about next week, your Marcus Mariota obviously has that stinger, not sure.
So Blaine Gabbert just led the Titans to a victory. Phillip Rivers hopes to do the same in our nightcap against the #1 defense. We'll break down the Bolts and the Ravens next. Big news coming out of Ravens camp yesterday. The team squelched rumors that man John Harbaugh's run is over in Baltimore, saying he will be back next season, which was to be the final year of his deal. And they're working on an extension as well. For more on this, we welcome in part of the broadcast team tonight alongside Mike Tirico and the Hall of Famer Kurt Warner. It's Peter Schrager. And Peter, what about the timing of this announcement? Less than 24 hours before a huge game.
Yeah, Chris, you know, I think nationally this is a big shock to a lot of people, but understand regionally in Baltimore what this week was in the media. A lot of this is John Harbaugh's job to lose. Win or in, you know, he gets to keep his job if they win. This deflated all of that. John Harbaugh's the coach of the team for the extended future. And now the team knows that, the assistant coaches know that, and John Harbaugh knows that. The statement went out at 7 p.m. on a Friday night on the East Coast. Usually you try to bury news. It's usually bad news. No, this was good news. The team today, I'm talking to everybody on the Ravens sideline, they are enthused, they are invigorated, and for that organization to know that's not a cloud over this game, they can play loose and they can play free. That is why they did this on a Friday night at 7 p.m.
Okay, so they're excited about their Super Bowl winning coach returning in 2019 and beyond. They are ecstatic about their rookie quarterback, Lamar Jackson, who's 4-1 as a starter. What has he done to infuse some energy on that side of the football?
Sometimes it's just it, right? Like sometimes you meet one of these guys and they've got this charismatic feel. That is the anecdotal evidence I have from meeting with him personally and then talking to all the different Ravens players and their coaching staff. He's got it. He had it in preseason when he was the third quarterback, and they've just completely galvanized behind him. Can he throw the perfect pass that you're going to see from other quarterbacks in the league? Maybe not. But does he have this team in the palm of his hand wanting to fight for him? Absolutely. Lamar Jackson, here's what the thought is in Baltimore. He's 4-1 as a starter, and that's been great. They feel he hasn't even scratched the surface. And tonight, prime time, national television, whole country watching NFL Network, they feel like you might see the Lamar Jackson moment and maybe the Lamar Jackson game. They love him, and they're ready to fight for him.
All right, Peter Schrager down on the field. We will talk to you shortly again. Let's start with the coach, though. You played the last 3 years of your career. Yes, you,
Okay.
Mr. Steve Smith Sr.,
Yeah.
played the last 3 years of your NFL career for John Harbaugh. Does this silence things in that locker room? Are they at ease now?
Well, first of all, it doesn't silence anything. More of just silences the media. As players, you always go in there whether the coach is going to get fired or he's on there. You still have to do your job because you are now at the end of the season, you are working for a new job or to maintain your current job. But also, too, is you know what you expect out of Coach Harbaugh, which is he's going to be fiery. His team is going to always be well prepared. But you also know that they had to release something. As far as the extension, I'll be interested to see if it's really an extension because here's why. You can't say you're working on an extension. They go out and lose this game, then they lose to Cleveland. And then all of a sudden, you miss the playoffs 3 years in a row, and it comes down to the last 2 games of the season, you don't get rewarded for failure. So I'll be interested to see how these 2 games shape out, and then comes the extension.
All right, well, the big move he made, obviously, he had the injury to Joe Flacco. He had the bad hip. But when Flacco was healthy, he stuck with Lamar Jackson. And ever since that happened, this offense has truly been dynamic on the ground. You're talking about the rookie averaging more than 17 carries per game. That's most by a quarterback since 1960. And the team is on quite a run as well, averaging over 200 rushing yards a game. And they're carrying the ball more than 64% of the time. The 77 Raiders were the last playoff squad to run that much on the ground. So, LT, what does this do to everybody else? And every defense that's had a look at this kid so far hasn't figured it out.
I think it's just so unconventional because you're not used to working on these types of run plays, you know, this type of offense in practice. And you just haven't seen this before. And so it's unconventional. Defenses have a tough time lining up, playing gap integrity. Those are all the things that you need to have on a solid defense, but against this guy, because he can go anywhere, he has the athletic ability, he has the speed to, you know, outrace defenses and burn leverage. I think it's hard to defend a guy like this and that running offense.
Irv, is that a playoff team now?
Well, guys, let's be real here in what we are seeing here, and I love what the Baltimore Ravens is doing, because they're showing the world that getting back to the basics does work.
Yeah.
It does work, and you can win with that. But let's be careful as we dive a little deeper into this. The teams that the Ravens have won against: Cincinnati, last in rush defense. This is at the time they were playing those teams. Oakland, last in rush defense. Atlanta, 27th in 25th, and Tampa Bay, 27th. Kansas City, 25th. Tampa Bay, 27th. Tonight, they played a 9th-ranked rush defense. This will be the best rush defense team that they played. So, yes, it has worked because the scheduling gods has laid out a good plan for him, and playing against those defenses tonight, he'll have to show
But
a
how
little
about
bit
giving
more.
him a little credit? Because if they take a #1 ranked defense on the road in the playoffs with an unconventional offense,
right,
and 1 week to prepare for it, you're telling me that team can't do some damage in January? You're not buying?
Well, I'm just saying, all I'm saying is exactly what I said. You see what I'm saying?
So look into the crystal ball. Don't look into that pass.
I said they've had success against teams that have struggled against the run already. Now they're starting to step up and play against better teams against the run, and they got film on what they're doing. Let's see what happens then. I don't know that this team can go deep into the playoffs, but I like what I'm seeing out of young Lamar Jackson.
Well, I'm a wide receiver, so I'm not going to agree with any of this nonsense that's going on. When I'm watching a film, when I look at my All-22 and I see all this gadget and this, I use the word razzle-dazzle, this isn't basics. The wing tee isn't basics. Lamar, here's a problem I have with the way they do this offense as a wide receiver. Lamar Jackson can throw the ball, but they're setting him up a little bit where it seems like they don't want to pass the ball. He can pass the ball, but you have to put him in situations. Here's what it is with a young guy. I'm a veteran. I always look at young guys like this. You believe that you're a superhero, right? You go back to the Kansas City game. He's sitting back there, dropping back. All of a sudden, his spidey senses doesn't go off because he's not a real superhero.
Feel the pressure.
He's a superhero in training. His spidey senses doesn't go off, so that's why he had the sack fumble. Because basically, when you do that to a young kid and you put him in there, this is what it's like. You got your 16-year-old, he has his permit to drive, and all of a sudden you got an emergency and you're in L.A. and you're in rush hour and you expect to get to the hospital unscathed? Hell no, that ain't happening. You got to give him opportunities, and not in a game, but give him opportunities to throw the ball. Get him familiar with the football sense of your clock going off. Hey, I should not be holding this ball this long. I need to get rid of it. But you don't get that if all you're doing is taking off and running, sitting there acting like you're passing the ball, but you really intend on running the ball. That will not work in playoff football in January. If it's snowing and it's a blizzard, Yes, but if it's a sunny day like this, if they have to play the Los Angeles Chargers again in this weather, they got to throw the ball. They have to pass it.
I was always taught
He
that
has some success throwing the ball across the middle. It's just when you're trying to go
some success
deep
is not going to work.
and trying to go outside the numbers, then he struggles a little bit.
But he
in
can
those
throw,
areas.
though.
He can throw.
Well, you can't consistently move the ball methodically down the field like this.
But they have been doing it.
I know, but I'm saying tonight's going to be a big test.
As Irv just alluded to, all these bad rushing teams allow you to move the ball methodically down the field. At some point, guys, you got to be able, you know this, you got to be able to throw the ball down the field. You have to create explosive plays if you want to beat elite teams. Now, if you want to just play against average teams and win against average teams, then that's what you're going to be. You're going to be average.
Okay, but hold on.
Be
They took Kansas City to overtime.
Okay.
They still lost.
Hold on. They played Kansas City, but what happened?
I know they lost.
No. I don't want to hear I know. What happened? What happened?
They lost.
Okay, what is this game about?
It's about winning and losing.
Yes, it's not about how you look. This
Were they
is how
good
we
enough
look.
to win that game?
And they had a chance. They had a good chance
to win that game.
What happened? Please do tell, Irv, what happened?
It did not work out. But what Steve is saying, what Steve and these guys are talking about, they're going to face a team that can score on this defense, on their defense, and they're going to have to keep score with a team that plays a much better defense than the Chiefs play.
All right, will everybody's mind change tonight if Baltimore pulls off the upset? Just yes or no?
I'm willing to move in another direction.
LT?
Just a
I'll say yes. If they pull it off tonight in the same way that they have in the past 5-6 weeks, yes, I will.
Mr. Win or lose?
No. Because I'm a wide receiver. You got to throw the ball.
They haven't beaten the team.
It's not that one.
They haven't beaten the team with the winning record at the time they played the team.
You got to throw the ball.
Now, if they beat this team, it'll be the first team with the winning record. All of the teams in the playoff, folks, this is, I know it's newsflash, all the teams in the playoff have a winning record. I just wanted to make sure everybody knows that.
Okay, let's move on to one of the teams that does have a winning record, the 11-3 Los Angeles Chargers. They have one of the top passing games in the NFL, and Keenan Allen is a huge reason why. In this installment of NFL 360, the game-breaking wideout takes our Jim Trotter on a trip back to the place that's helped to define him.
This is where it all started, with the tree. We didn't have dummies growing up, but we would use the tree as a dummy. So they would sweep me the ball, I'd run up on the tree, give it a move, get around it, and keep going forward.
From Pee Wee legend to high school All-American to college standout, and now a record-setting receiver for the Los Angeles Chargers.
Jukes a man, Jukes a second man.
2017 Comeback Player of the Year, Keenan Allen has been known to have one personality on the field.
Nickname Slayer, where'd it come from?
It kind of goes with my game because I be killing dudes.
Keenan Allen makes a mockery of the Dallas defense.
And another personality off the field. From eye-opening highs to challenging lows, and every emotion in between.
Let's go back to your rookie year. Obviously, that was a tough time, at least initially.
Training camp was rough. When I first got there, I was kind of overweight. Couldn't do everything right away. No confidence. The coaches think I can't play.
When do you start to think, maybe this isn't for me?
After that first game, I didn't play at all. Literally, didn't play me. It was tough.
Feeling unneeded, if not unwanted, Allen reached back to Greensboro.
You made a call to your mom.
Yeah.
What did you tell her?
Called her, just told her I ain't want to play no more. So, I'm done. She was like, nah, you work way too hard for this. This is where you want to be. This is what it is. You just got to be patient and let God work.
In fact, the door of opportunity opened for him the following week after an injury to Malcolm Floyd.
Week 2, you get in that game against Philadelphia.
First play, you got in, third down.
The first NFL catch for number 13.
Yeah, I got up talking junk, too. Just never look back. It's go time.
Allen was on his way to composing a special season in 2016 with 6 catches for 63 yards in the first half of the season opener at Kansas City. But the music stopped suddenly when he tore his ACL.
Here's a guy that missed half of last season with the lacerated kidney. He's just had a succession of injuries.
ACL was just like, what? I just came off an injury. I ain't played, so I can't play again?
Allen returned in 2017 with a healthy knee and a modest, yet significant goal.
My total mindset after rehab was just play all 16 games.
He did that and more, establishing an NFL record with 3 straight games of at least 10 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown.
You did things no other receiver had ever done.
It seemed a little easy.
Soft-spoken yet vocal, ferocious yet gentle, driven yet relaxed, Allen has always slayed whatever he's done, whether in Greensboro or the NFL.
Is there a better receiver than you in this league?
Not that I know of.
That's the kind of confidence you have to have.
Yeah. I work that much.
And there is 13 dressed after yet another injury scare in his last game, held without a catch because he played only half of it in Kansas City with a hip pointer. Michael, he gives the Chargers such a different look out there, and not just because of the elongated facial hair, right?
Yeah, this guy does everything on the football field. You can put him anywhere and he can make a play, and he's just so incredibly gifted and talented. He talked about patience in that piece, and I thought it was a fascinating piece. As a matter of fact, when I'm watching the piece, I'm thinking, we don't do enough, we don't hear enough about this guy. We really don't know that much about him, but he's one of the best wide receivers in the National Football League.
PhD in route running.
Yep.
That's all, right?
That's all you got on him?
Hey, he's a guy you have to always pay attention to. You can't lose focus. You can't take your eye off of him. He will beat you.
And the thing that I've been most impressed with Keenan about is he's been the go-to guy for a long time, right, but he consistently make plays. And Irv alluded to it. Man, he lines up everywhere. He can run routes inside, outside, and I don't think people know how difficult that is.
They don't.
To be able
I was just about to say that.
To be able to move around and run different routes. Steve, you guys,
Steve was able to do it. No, Steve
So,
was able to do it.
yeah.
I couldn't do it. I'm telling you out front. I was outside guy running that inside route. It's a whole different thing. It's a different gift.
We're going to need a medic up here. We think that Steve Smith just received a compliment from Michael Irvin. You okay?
Oh, get on out of here with that, man. Get out of here with that.
He's out, guys. Thank you very much. We appreciate everybody watching NFL Network. He's gone. He's gone. But you know who's back? Melvin Gordon, back after missing 3 games with a sprained knee. He is ready to get it going.
We're going in the water today. Whether you like it or not, this playoff matches, we're going in the water today. We're going in the water today. We got to bring everything we got. At the end of the day, you look me in my eyes and you ask me, Mel, you give it everything you got, and I can't tell you I did, then I failed you as a teammate and as a man today. So we're going to go get it done today. Sir. Losing is not an option. Sir. We got to go get it. Where my dogs at?
All right, he's ready to get it going. As we're playing a man down up here on the set, unless Steve wants to rejoin us. So this is the guy, Melvin Gordon, more than 1,200 scrimmage yards. Means so much, not only in the run game, but the pass game as well, right?
That was
absolutely, and that's where he has evolved the most, is catching the ball out the backfield. And I actually talked to Melvin about this before the season. I said, what area do you want to improve your game? He said running routes out the backfield, being a consistent catcher of the football. And this young man has done it this year. He has improved, and he's become an all-around running back. More dangerous catching the ball out the backfield than even he is rushing with the football. So I can't wait to see him tonight. I believe he's going to put on the show.
That was some great leadership, too, in that little speech right there. You say what you want. I'm ready to play some football right there. I will not fail you as a teammate or as a man tonight. That's what he's saying.
All right, so, guys, we focused on the Chargers. Wide out, the running back. What about the QB? And 15 years in, Phillip Rivers, he has put together one of the best seasons of his outstanding NFL career. He sat down with our Hall of Famer Kurt Warner for a quarterback-to-quarterback conversation about what he's learned, what this season has meant to him, and the Super Bowl chances.
Morning, guys. What's going on, man? How you doing? It's good to see you. See you. It's becoming a young man's game. Yet I look around the league, and you got Brady and Breeze and yourself playing as well as you've ever played. What's the secret?
I don't know. I really don't know. I do think that one of the, not so much secrets, but I think the reason why we've been able to stick around, and not to say we as if I'm in those guys' category, but
yeah, you are.
But I think at the end of the day, it's going to be 3rd and 7, and you got to stand in there and complete an out or complete an in or complete something in a congested pocket with guys all around you. I mean, I still think the game comes down to that.
Right.
And if you can do that, I think he can stick around and still play at a high level.
Touchdown, Chargers!
Well, so not very often am I in a room with a guy that has more kids than I do. How do you manage balancing the father of 8 with playing in the NFL?
Yeah, well, it's definitely a balance. Keeps you grounded for sure, but we've kind of gotten in a pretty good groove, and it works. Now that they've gotten older, it's really gotten fun. They're into it, and they know what the division race looks like. They know the whole deal, so it makes football season even more fun for them.
When it's all said and done, if somebody's telling them about their dad's career, what do you hope they say?
I hope they say, man, we knew he loved to play. You could tell that he loved to play every Sunday when you watched him. I hope that they would at least be told he was a great teammate.
Hey, come on, D! Come on!
And then you hope they squeeze in there somewhere. He was a pretty dang good player, too, but hopefully more positive than negative.
Yeah. Well, you've accomplished so much in this league, and the one thing that's eluded you is that Super Bowl.
I think we're in another window where we have a chance. You know, there's certain windows, and this has nothing to do with whether our roster is capable or not. Yeah. There's just certain windows where you go, we got to do it. Yeah. And I think we're in that window again, and that part is exciting.
When you're growing up, you envision holding up that trophy. So how often do you think about it?
Shoot, now it's been 14 NFL seasons and many more before I made it. Shoot, you don't stop dreaming when you get older. You dream like you did when you were 10 years old in the backyard.
LT, your former teammate, is dripping with passion as you get a good look at him. 31 touchdowns, only 9 giveaways this year. What has been the difference for him?
Well, I think a couple of things. The first thing is he has complete confidence in the players around him. And you know, he doesn't feel like he has to carry the team anymore. He doesn't have to make every play out there. Throw a short pass to Keenan Allen. Let him do the rest, pick up a first down. Hand it off to Melvin Gordon. Let him pound it a little bit. The other thing is his relationship with Ken Wisenhunt. It's understated because their relationship, Ken totally trusts Philip in what they're calling and vice versa. When Ken calls something, Philip knows it's going to work. He believes it, and they're always on the same page.
Yeah, and I talked with Alfredo Roberts, who, you know, one of my best friends, and he's the running back coach, and he talks about that same thing, that relationship and how it prepares Philip Rivers when he comes out to practice. He's in total control of everything, and everybody on the field respects that, honors that, and they follow this man right here.
The Chargers are currently the 5 seed. That's the worst they'll be come January. They could still be the #1 seed if things fall their way. Steve Smith, are they the best team in the AFC right now?
I mean, when you look at what they've done, I have to say they're quietly the best team in the AFC. Why? They've beat Kansas City. They've beat Pittsburgh. And now, if it all works out and it goes the way they have planned and want, they would have beaten or possibly beat the Baltimore Ravens. Who is left? Only team that really is left that would be the Houston Texans. And so this is a team that already knows what they are. They have a strong running game. Their defense is playing well. They have a good special teams. All 3 phases. That's what we talk about going into the playoffs. Can you play a complete game? And they've showed us week in and week out, they continuously keep playing a complete game over and over again. They're just not getting a lot of credit.
There's a fan, by the way, there's a few fans up in New England who say they haven't taken it to us yet, but, you know, maybe we'll get a shot of seeing that.
You're completely right, and I was thinking the same thing, how this team is just really complete, all 3 phases. Like, you don't see a weakness in this team. The other thing is, this team is top 10 in scoring offense and scoring defense. How many teams in the National Football League can say that? I don't think there's any. You talk about being battle-tested on the road. Think about their road wins. You mentioned Kansas City, the Steelers. Early in the year, they went to Seattle. These are all 3 really tough places to play. So this team, if they go on the road, you're not worried about them. The moment won't be too big for them. That's why I believe they're the best team in the AFC.
Yeah, and simply put, when you think about it, they are the most complete. And therefore, I say to me that they're the best team. We watch it since week 2 of this season. This team has led the NFL in big plays. We have done it a disservice talking so much about Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs because they made such explosive plays. We talk a great deal about the Rams and the young Jared Goff and wanted to talk about young quarterbacks. But Philip Rivers and his Chargers have led the league since week 2 in big plays. They're consistently getting the 10-yard run or the 20-yard receptions. That's why right now I say them with Houston, the most complete two teams in the AFC right now.
So much on the line tonight. It's gonna. I mean, it feels like a playoff game. That's how much electricity is inside of this building. And then, of course, there's so much good stuff coming your way in just a few hours on NFL Network.
Get ready for kickoff Sunday at 9 a.m. with a holiday edition of NFL Game Day Morning.
We are lit up. Yeah.
The Cowboys got shut out. The Rams lost at home. The Patriots lost again. So which division leader should be panicking heading into the playoffs? Our guys have the answer. In New Orleans, it's a battle of Super Bowl winning QBs. Kurt Warner will let you know if Ben Roethlisberger can keep up with Drew Brees. And it's the time of the year for St. Nick to work his magic. And in Philly, that means Nick Foles. We'll let you know if the Eagles are playoff bound. Plus, it's the return of Santa Mooch.
This is Rudolph the Red Zone Reindeer.
It all starts Sunday at 7 a.m. with Good Morning Football Weekend, followed by Game Day Morning at 9.
Bud Light presents Bud Light's Nights.
All right, good look at the rookie first rounder, the Baltimore Ravens, who is 5th in the NFL in rushing since taking over the starting gig in Week 11. Michael Irvin, what are you most looking forward to when you watch number 8 tonight?
Well, I'm looking forward to watching him take over the football game, not just with his legs. I know out of all, he has the most rushing attempt per game amongst all quarterbacks and the fewest passing attempts per game amongst all quarterbacks. I'm looking for him to make plays tonight to keep up with the LA Chargers with his arm.
Very impressive since he took over the starting gig in Week 11. Keenan Allen, we just talked about him. Steve Smith, what does he bring to the table this evening?
So what he brings to the table, 10 games with 100-plus reception yards since 2017, tied for 4th in the NFL. But most importantly, he brings the element of surprise of where's he going to line up, who are you going to pick. I'm going to tell you right now, Jimmy Smith has been struggling a little bit, so it'll be interesting. Who will they put, Jimmy Smith or Marlon Humphreys on there? Marlon Humphreys, a young first-rounder out of Alabama, can play, loves to be physical, get in your face.
And Keenan is one of those guys that will get easy receptions. What do I mean by that?
Yeah.
You don't always have to throw the ball down the field like you do with a Mike Williams. You can get the easy 3rd down and 5, 2nd and 5, and he will catch him, get a first down.
Let's move over to the defensive side of the ball, man.
Chris, bad man.
Yeah.
I watched him for a long time since high school at St. Thomas Aquinas, man. This man here knows how to get to the quarterback, a forever motor. 33 games. In his 33 games, 27 sacks. He will be coming all night long, chasing Lamar Jackson.
And chasing him with a hurt foot. His foot is not completely healed, but look how much damage he is doing. He has an effect like Jadeveon Clowney where he may not come on the stats, but he's very disruptive. You have to always keep a guy on him or two, and he will get after the quarterback, and his presence on the field is felt all the time.
Who else, by the way, went to St. Thomas Aquinas High School, Michael Irvin?
What do you mean, who else?
Who else up here? Come on.
Yeah, you know, those Raiders are always producing great players like that dude right there, man. I mean, this is just an incredible dude. His son played with my son. His brother, he's a bad boy, too. He'll
Maybe
be
the number 1 pick.
Maybe the first pick out the draft this year, man.
You know who's been doing it for a decade and a half? T-Sizzle, Steve Smith.
The thing I love about Sis is one of the things he has a notebook full of quarterbacks, full of plays. He studies the film. He's one of those guys. He eats, breathes football. He knows exactly what is going on. And also, too, he's probably one of the ugliest guys in the league.
Come on now.
Oh, you leave that man alone, man.
That's
Come
not
on,
nice.
man.
132 and a half sacks, top 15 all time. And this guy's just getting started. How talented is he, LT?
Well, in my opinion, this is the defensive rookie of the year.
I agree with you.
This guy does it all, man. Lines up in the box. Look for him to follow Lamar Jackson around all night and be all over him.
And we'll see him in the Pro Bowl as well. Pretty darn impressive. All right, so we are about 20 minutes from kick here at the StubHub Center. Melvin Gordon, Derwin James, and the rest of the Chargers still have an eye on the 1 seed, the Ravens. Thinking of making the postseason. We'll break it all down after this. The Chargers are playoff bound. The Ravens look to move one step closer to January football. Plenty on the line tonight on NFL Network.
Goodness gracious alive. Let's go. Boom. That's 2 touchdowns. Dang it.
Golly.
I get fired up too.
Yes! Woo! Good night! Good night to all!
Welcome to NFL Game Day Kickoff, delivered by Pizza Hut.
It is the back end of our NFL Network doubleheader live from Los Angeles and the StubHub Center, where Lamar Jackson leads a bunch of Ravens who actually like to stay low to the ground. Baltimore has rushed for 190-plus yards in 5 straight games. First team to do that in more than 40 years. Phillip Rivers, he gets it done a little differently, but man, does he have the Bolts offense humming. A 4-game winning streak has the Chargers dreaming of an AFC West crown and perhaps a Super Bowl berth as well. We are down on the field here at the StubHub Center. I got my man taking some notes down there, the Hall of Famer, part of the 88 Club, Michael Irvin.
I'm not part of the 88 Club.
Sorry, you're the founding member?
I am the founder of the 88 Club. Now, go ahead and speak.
What member are you of the 21 Club with the Chargers Hall of Famer?
It don't matter.
And part of the 89 Club, Steve Smith?
Asian 89.
I'm just part of the generic host club, Chris Rose. Let's focus on the playoff picture. Last week, the Chargers clinched their first playoff berth since 2013. Now, they're currently the 5 seed. That is the worst that they can finish. But if LA sweeps and the Chiefs lose 1 of 2, the Chargers win the West, and they will be the number 1 seed. Okay, that's music to the Bolts' ears. And better yet, they get their Pro Bowl running back, Melvin Gordon, back. He's missed the last 3 with a sprained knee. Keenan Allen missed the second half of that win in Kansas City with a hip pointer. More firepower to an explosive offense, LT.
Yeah, it's a boost of confidence for this offense. You know, it really, whenever you have 2 of your best players, 2 of your most consistent players on the field, it has to give you confidence. And the greatest things you can say, in my opinion, about a football player is they're a pro. Meaning you know exactly what you're going to get from those guys every time they step out on the field.
Meantime, let's focus on the Baltimore Ravens playoff scenarios. If the Ravens win tonight and next week against Cleveland, they're more than likely be headed to the playoffs for at least a wild card. And get this, if Baltimore wins out and Pittsburgh loses 1 of their next 2, the Ravens are the AFC North champs. We could actually have Chargers at the Ravens opening round of the playoffs in a couple of weeks. So, Steve Smith, is this all on Lamar Jackson tonight and what he brings to the table against the toughest defense he's faced?
It's not all on Lamar Jackson. The defense will be what it is, which is number 1 in the league. But if the Chargers get ahead, can Lamar Jackson throw his way back into the game? You cannot run your way back into a game. You have to throw your way back into the game.
All right, president of the 88 Club and founding member, what are you most looking forward to tonight?
Listen, I watched as Mike Williams took a step last week when Keenan Allen went out of the football game. He stepped up. He made sure they won that football game. Now Keenan Allen inserts himself back. I still want him to stay to the step-up place that he stepped up last week. And this team will be the most dangerous team heading into the playoffs.
Mike Williams getting it done now in his 2nd year. Thanks in part to Phillip Rivers, who has 31 touchdown passes, just 4 shy of a season best. Why has he been so good in 2018? Our Hall of Fame quarterback, Kurt Warner, lets you know next.
NFL Game Day Kickoff is delivered by Pizza Hut. Step up game day with Pizza Hut's $5 lineup. Pizza, wings, pasta, Cinnabon mini rolls, and more.
Lamar Jackson off and running. His 566 rushing yards, 3rd most by a rookie quarterback. And get this, that's 280 more yards than Kurt Warner had during his entire Hall of Fame career. So Mike Tirico, no need to worry about the run-pass option up there in the booth with Kurt.
You know, I was holding that over Kurt's head for the broadcast here at StubHub Center tonight, his career rushing yards, but we got another career rushing yard number for you as we get going in the game here. But let's talk about Lamar Jackson. I was on the field talking to Greg Roman, who's now the tight ends coach here, but Greg Roman was with Colin Kaepernick in San Francisco, and he's part of the evolution of this offense and what they do and how they do. It's not really complex, but the deception has made it really dynamic.
That's really where it all starts, is that they get angles. It's all about angles in this, because when you get number 8 out in space, he is so different. He is so dynamic. And so they do a lot of great things. Just shift the tight end here, strength of the formation. And you watch the linebacker here, Mike. Hey, you guys got to move. We're in a bad position right here. He doesn't get the defensive line move. You're going to watch the angles here. And then there's always somebody on an island. We're going to leave the defensive end on an island. He goes outside. Number 8 gets into the secondary. So tough to stop. And you're going to see a different kind of deception right here. We're going to see a little jet sweep. So once again, we're going to see the linebackers take just that one step to the left, gives our offensive linemen, our blockers, angles. We read that defensive end. He holds on the inside, and we get number 8 on the outside again. And again, number 8's speed is different. There's a lot of fast guys in the NFL. Number 8's a little bit faster.
What Lamar Jackson's doing is one thing. Phillip Rivers, nothing like it. Yet it's working too for Phillip Rivers. You've known him for a while. You got a chance to do a feature with him on NFL Network here and talk to him this week. Where is he in terms of his career and what this moment is right now for him and this Los Angeles Chargers team?
Well, he told me that he still dreams of that big moment like he was a 10-year-old kid, but he feels there's a window there, you know, that maybe this is the most complete team. Maybe not the most talented, but most complete team. And you just get a sense with the way he's playing, the young guys around him. He's got a little bit of a new lease on life, and maybe, just maybe, this is the year where all of that changes.
No margin for error, either team. Two different, exciting styles. Everything you could ask for. Going to be a fun night here. We'll see you for kickoff in a few minutes. Chris, back down to you.
All right, Mike, we can't wait. We know that Phillip Rivers will be talking smack all game. T-Sizzle doesn't mind yapping either. This one should be a fun one tonight. Ravens and Chargers coming your way. Phillip Rivers ready to go. Chargers, a team that started 3-6 under then rookie coach Anthony Lynn a year ago. Since then, they've won 17 of 21. Best mark in the NFL over that span. All right, LT, we spent a lot of time talking about the last pick of the first round, Lamar Jackson. What about the guy that went 17th overall, Derwin James, Pro Bowl as a rookie? He has made such a huge difference in the Chargers secondary.
Yeah, Derwin is a dynamic talent. You're going to see him lurking around the box, and he's going to be doing this all night, getting into the backfield, causing problems for Lamar Jackson and that rushing offense. I don't expect the Ravens to throw a lot today, but Derwin James, he will be making a lot of tackles.
A lot of interesting young players out there on the field, and time right now to pick the game. Who's winning today? Delivered by Pizza Hut. And tonight, I'll tell you, I was this close to taking the Ravens this evening. I just couldn't do it. The Chargers are playing for too much. They're currently the 5 seed, but I think they could be the 1 seed. They end up winning this one 27-21.
Well, I'm going to go with Irv's kind of philosophy. I'm going to pick the San Diego Chargers 25-21, hoping that that'll work against the Los Angeles Chargers, not the San Diego Chargers, sorry. Yeah, the Chargers have been playing so well of late, and they're on the roll, as you mentioned, the last 21 games, 21-4. I'm picking the Chargers, of course, 23-14.
Nothing is as unpredictable as the NFL. And I too say the Chargers will win 24-21. That means look out. The Ravens got a great chance at winning this game.
Exactly.
All I'm telling you, look out. The Ravens have a great
all 4 of us.
Every time we do it.
I only pick the Los Angeles Chargers because I believe that the Ravens are going to win.
Right. I'm telling you what.
Reverse psychology.
Few big plays in the passing game can get the Ravens there. A few big plays in the passing game.
It's going to be a good one, guys. The Chargers are already in the postseason. The Ravens have dreams of making it there. Coming up after a quick break, we'll get you up to the broadcast booth as Phillip Rivers getting ready to take dead aim at the #1 defense in the NFL. Can Lamar Jackson come through? Mike Tirico, the Hall of Famer Kurt Warner, and Peter Schrager with the call right after this.